Alrighty.
Welcome to Books You Never Read.
Except for those we have.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Jason.
And today we are discussing chapters 18 through 35.
Correct.
Cool. Of Abaddon's Gate by James S.A. Corey. Abaddon's Gate is the third, lost track, in the series. So if you haven't read book 1, which is Leviathan's Wake, book 2, which is Caliban's War, and then up to this point in book 3, you should probably go read and then catch up. We have all of these books and more playlisted for you in the playlist section of our channel. We're super excited that you're here. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube Music as a Podcast. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Nicole just said that she doesn't have much to say this time, so y'all be prepared for a long episode. Go ahead and take your potty break if you need to, because that means we'll be here for an hour.
Yeah. Go ahead and get your snacks.
Peggy says, let's get this dandelion party started.
Yeah, the dandelion thing. I forgot about that. I feel like a lot, but nothing has happened, right? Like, a lot, but like, nothing.
I just feel like a lot has happened.
Okay, well, carry on.
I lack the sense of nothing.
Okay, well, tell me what I missed.
Well, I mean, so first off, we have learned a massive, let's just do a brief overview and then we can dive in where we want. We've learned a lot about not the proto-molecule, but about like the civilization that made it. This is like our first time learning anything about them. So that's,
we've gone real deep.
That's big. Not only that, we have learned, we've had like all the Anna Melba / Naomi drama, but also like a lot has happened politically. There's the mutiny on the Behemoth. There is sort of like this new cooperation between Earth, Mars, and the Belt, and sort of like what all that means and where do we go from here. Anyway, I think a whole lot has happened.
I keep waiting for Bobby to show up, and I keep waiting for Eva Solara to show up. I miss them. I was irritated with Melba in the chapter where she cried in Tilly's lap. I'm like, why are you crying? You chose this, you wanted this, you knew. Why do you feel bad about Ren? You've killed 1,000 other people.
Yeah.
Just because you got to know this one and realize he was a nice guy. Well, guess what? You killed lots of other nice people too. Yeah. I don't care about you crying. Just go catatonic. Just die.
Yeah, Melba's, we spent a fair amount of time last week talking about Melba's character and like, what's up with that? And why is she doing this? And it's just a tantrum, and she's just a grown child with money and brains.
Yeah.
And she's just, it's just vengeance. That's it. Like, the plan is not good. It's just make other people hurt because I hurt. The whole thing where Tilly asks Anna, like, you're going to help her out or whatever, we still haven't, like, really resolved that. We don't know what that means yet. And, like, that bothers me that Anna was just like, okay. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, what a big ask.
Yeah. Yeah, huge.
Anna, who probably has some PTSD from this girl banging on the locker that her magnet boots were holding shut. I mean, good grief.
Well, and I'm not sure Tilly knows all that.
Right.
So.
And Anna, I see from Anna's point of view that she's like, I have to face this person that I see as a demon, but who's still a person. She's seeing this from the religious, like, there's hope for everyone, there's room for everyone, and maybe we can redeem her before she dies.
Yes.
Type view.
I like what Anna is doing with it. I don't like, and I actually like Tilly. Like, I don't mind her. I don't like the just sort of, this is what you're going to do now thing.
And I'll never ask you a favor again.
Because we've been homies for like 6 months.
You're never going to see each other again. So, like, easy ask.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, Peggy makes a good point that Anna still feels guilty about not helping that angry Marine. And so, yes. And so Melba is kind of a stand-in. Yeah, and Shelby's saying that she enjoys Anna's chapters mostly because they're like clear and straightforward, and that can be true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I like what Anna is trying to do. I hope she gets something out of this. I don't mind if they chuck Melba out the window. Like, I just don't mind.
Where else is she going to go? She's either going out the window or to a trial and then out that window.
Yes.
Like, but I think to Anna, it's important that she has a chance to be redeemed.
So here I'm gonna make my prediction for the book. Here's what's gonna happen with Melba because they have to chuck her out a window, right? There is no like redemption at this point. Like,
Not physically,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, cool, you can get yourself right spiritually or whatever, but like, it's over with for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, like, what if there's a situation where like they need a human being to meld with the station so that it can understand that they're not a threat, or if somebody has to go die to let everybody else out,
Oh,
and
it'll be her.
she'll volunteer. It will be redemptive, and she won't exist anymore, which cleans it all up very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my prediction here.
Mm-hmm. Let the dead bury the dead.
Yeah.
From To Kill a Mockingbird, by the way, if y'all didn't know. Yeah, Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Miller doesn't know. Like, Miller knows he's Miller, but doesn't know
Yeah.
how he's doing what he's doing.
But he like is the station. He is
Yeah.
the machinery of the station. He's not an alien, but he's also not Miller.
Yeah.
He's just sort of
That's all very confusing.
well, and so I guess it's because like the station is not the protomolecule, right? Like the protomolecule is something that goes and builds, I guess, just builds gates. That part's not super clear to me. But like it comes here and built the gate, right? The gate now is the protomolecule. I guess we think that the protomolecule is also on the station because there is kind of talk about the walls and how it has like the mold on it and stuff like that. I don't think mold's the right word, but regardless, the protomolecule is not the alien species. So he is part of the machinery and the technology. But yeah, he didn't know he was manifesting that far away. He seems to be like a bit discombobulated. And the closer to the center he is,
Yeah.
the more functional he is.
Yeah.
But the whole I had to listen to it twice, the whole Holden becoming like a star god.
Yeah.
That part was really cool. It reminded me a lot of the end of Antimemetic's Division.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to listen to it twice because I was like, he was like hanging out with Miller, and all of a sudden we were blowing up stars, and I was like, wait, go back.
Yeah. Became the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all weird.
Yeah. And so like, what does that do for us? I don't know, right? Like, somehow Miller, as the station, needs like a hardware reset and can't do it himself, right? Or like an override.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what he's doing with Holden. Why Holden got to see all that during like the hardware override, I don't know. And what does the override mean?
Mm-hmm.
We also don't really know yet.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing is, I said this on the Fable, but I love the whole idea that like Holden got confused about who Julie and Melba are.
Yeah.
And like it's just like typical Holden narcissism to think like I have been brought to the ends of the earth.
Yeah.
And like he has been sort of by Miller.
Miller was like, "Nah,
yeah.
what are you doing here?"
Yeah. Well, and so like I'll point this out, right? It's the Miller in our galaxy that says doors and corners, like you need to be careful going in, right? So like there's still some Millerness to him. The Miller on the station like knows about that statement, but also like is somehow the station, and is also like, could you go touch that block for me, please? Like without like no doors and corners there.
Touching the block, is that what changed the slow zone situation?
No. So what changed the slow zone situation is that the Martian Marines launched a grenade.
Right.
At like these alien insect machine things.
Right. And the machinery like protected itself.
And it realized that things that are slow can be dangerous. And so it again changed the speed limit.
That was horrifying.
And so that's part of why I don't like Bull doesn't know about that thing, but he seems to be he made some comment about like this is like they're testing us to see how dangerous we are. And it is part of why he wants to get everybody on the same ship is because he's worried that like what if somebody knifes somebody else and they realize that like knife speed is dangerous, Yeah. So that part was really interesting. There's a scene out of there was a scene in The Will of the Many, or The Strength of Few. The Strength of Few was the second book, where he's in like the Celtic land and he goes to that sunken city and they have all those machines or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. That's what that scene reminded me of.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, Bull is now in his little mech machine.
Mm-hmm. I like him.
Yeah.
I'm glad they found like a way for him to be mobile. Um,
Yeah. He'll be dead by the end, huh?
maybe.
I think so.
What if he and Melba go off together and die? That'd be really something.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I just don't know now that he's like opting out of the coma or got pulled out of the coma or whatever. Like, I just don't see how he's gonna like heal from this.
He makes. I think it's him. I get all my high characters confused because so many people got like just utterly blasted with space meth in this reading. But
Oh, you got gold stars.
for what? Oh, for another book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. But it's either him or Anna makes this. Or it might be Holden because Holden also does the space meth. Um, somebody makes the comment that distance is measured in time. I think it's Bull.
Mm-hmm.
And that is very obvious, but I've never thought about it. But if you're like, how far away is your grandma's house? I'd be like, it's like 12 hours, right? Like we do, because we don't experience miles, we experience time.
Mm-hmm.
And, it might take 3 months, like the distance, the time it takes to travel between Earth and Mars for these people is the same amount of time it took to travel from like Chicago to Oregon.
Yeah.
For
I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's still, there's this continuum in the experience of explorers and people on like the edge of these vast distances. But like the distance doesn't matter, it's the time. So and that's part of what makes um the slow zone such an issue, right? Because the distance hasn't changed, it's
the time. Yeah. Yeah. Hi.
Hello. Um yeah.
Our friend here that just entered the chat, what is it, 7640? Is that what it ends in? Yeah. Is reading the French translation of the book.
Hey, Peggy knew that too. Yeah.
Oh, hey. Yeah. And so, yeah, like I wish I understood French fluently enough to be able to like try a different translation and talk about like did they describe the dandelion the same way? Like things like that. And I guess a dandelion's a dandelion, but
well, so this is actually really interesting because now I'm thinking about like a comment I just made, but it's like it's such an American centric perspective. I use the crossing of the West as an example of like pioneers and explorers, right? But like for a French person or like a British person, there's still like that age of discovery, but it's by boat, and there's still like this colonization narrative that we have in science fiction. But like I wonder about like the differences in perception, or like how, well, if you drop a comment about Oregon or the Oregon Trail into a book, like do you just change it?
And and the descriptions that they gave in the book were like crossing the Atlantic, and that kind of thing. But we do have, just depending on like what continent you grow up on, very different views of time and distance and travel. Like we were watching 90 Day Fiance and a man from Egypt made it to New Orleans and wondered how far LA was.
Yeah.
And when the woman told him, like by car, days, he was like short-circuited. Like it just did not make sense how expansive. Yeah. Anyway, so, that's neither here nor there.
They're saying that the expressions are changed.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. But because things like that are tough to translate, right? And I think in general, if the point is understanding, I'm definitely pro make it make sense locally to whoever, that is one of the things, like talking about like the little expressions and the ways of thinking. That was my favorite thing. One of my favorite things about the first book we ever read for this channel, Three Body Problem, was it opens with that scene from like the Chinese Civil War, and they describe that girl dying as like a leaf
Mm-hmm.
falling to the ground, and like we as Americans would have never done that,
Mm-hmm.
but that expression is like it's such an like it it just represents, I think, like the difference in the way of thinking, and it was such like a beautiful way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
And there were several things like that throughout that book,
Yeah.
so I think it's cool.
Well, yeah. Far more comparisons to nature from
Yes.
Asian literature,
Yes.
where American literature is much more
Yes.
industrial and steel and
Mhm.
life is a highway, not a river,
Right.
like that kind of thing.
Well, and we talk about the bodies as machines, and like we still see that here. It's all
Literally,
hardware, right?
literally with Bull. So I think it's interesting that Bull is like a physical representation almost of what Miller has become. If like you can kind of
Mm-hmm.
Bull has his whole brain but not his body, and Miller has this body but not his brain, maybe.
Interesting. Yeah.
Kind of.
Well,
He's
and like
like
Miller doesn't even
holographic.
have a body, right? Because he's a trillion buttons
Yeah.
being pushed or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh wow.
You've been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Or you at least caught up with the beginning.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
I bet three body problem. Sorry, just to
Yeah.
jump books for a second, but that was so cool because we really had people from all over the world joining us in that. There were people reading it in Chinese.
Yeah, we had people reading it in Chinese. Yeah,
and
that was really
and
neat.
Like letting us know like for the next book that was beyond three body, like we really want to hang in there, but it's too hard to find Chinese translations of all the books that we're reading. But that was so cool. And like hearing different language interpretations, different just cultural interpretations. I think we just had such a rich experience with our book club members in that book. And so this is great that these books are translated in so many different languages. Like we might be able to kind of capture that again.
Speaking of books, by the way, it's your turn to pick this week. I had been screenshotting so many books I want to read. Let's go back to this.
Back to where we are.
Back to where we are. I think honestly that my favorite character in this book right now is Anna. And one of the things is like sort of this tragedy of her like all of a sudden realizing like, oh, I might not come back from this like volunteering to go to an alien dimension thing. Because like obviously, right? But that's sort of that explorer spirit, right? Like we would not do this if we didn't understand. There was a comment in here about it was from Anna when she makes a comment about like how painful this was. Maybe not as painful as childbirth,
because at least you get the like happy hormone flood,
and
afterwards.
Then you forget. Yes, and so but
forgetting.
Yes, yes, gold star. But I think that it's that sort of like optimism, right? Like, oh, this is gonna be fine, right? Like and like, because nobody in their right minds would do this, right? We had like a bunch of preachers sign a thing saying like, we will go. We never had a discussion about like the UN being like, you guys don't boss us around, right? They were just like, okay. And everybody went through. But like everybody thought it was gonna be fine, and most of them got splatted, right? They all just like died immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah.
That sort of like concept of the slow zone is another very three body kind of situation, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's interesting seeing kind of the battle of the religious folks' intentions behind going. There's making sure we're the first ones there, spreading the message, that kind of thing. We also just have the fame has gone to his head and he wants to amen and bless everything, but it's really just,
Yeah.
And then we have Anna who's like, no, we're there to help provide peace and understanding and like, and thank goodness she's there.
Yeah.
Calming everyone else down.
Yeah.
She's the only reasonable person that isn't like full of herself. And the whole time she's like, I don't know why I'm here. And also you're blowing smoke up my butt, calling me an important member of the committee or whatever. She's like, you don't even know who I am.
One of the other reasons I like her, I think it's like the last chapter. They have that conversation about like an inner, like the faith group of different people, but it's just people and it's like belters and whatever. I mean, like,
Yeah.
and again,
Oh yeah.
with sci-fi, we just get a future version of our past, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like this whole concept of like, well, what if we just put everybody together because we're all doing the thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
They're like gas,
yeah,
putting the Belters with the Martians, with
yeah.
the Earthlings.
Well, and you and I have talked about this, and I might have talked about this before, but in the town where I went to high school, there is like there's two Catholic churches, and they're literally a block apart. And one is like the old, it's the basilica for the white folks, and then a block down, there's the Catholic church for the black folks,
Mm-hmm.
and they're both still in use. And like obviously now you can kind of go wherever, but like that, I mean, like it's just a
Yeah.
future version of these like things that we have in us that we just carry forward
Mm-hmm.
forever, you know. Um, in the same way that like space colonization is very similar to Earth colonization, space racism is very similar,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yep. Yeah. Anna was fighting a good fight just before everything went haywire and everyone exploded. She was like, okay, well, let's not call them dusters and let's not call them skinnies. Like,
right,
let's call them humans.
right.
Like,
Well, and like this is she makes, or maybe Bull makes the observation that like now there's this great tragedy and we're all working together, and that's unfortunate, but maybe we need great tragedies to pull us all together.
history is made up of people recovering from the last disaster.
Yes. And so like there is definitely something to be said for like a shared trauma as
Mm-hmm.
like a group cohesion thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you see this in like the Bible, right? Like these people are Israelites because they were slaves of Egypt, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
like these people are this thing or that thing, or you know, like whatever. And you know, sometimes nations are formed in response to some oppressor that like weren't a nation previously or whatever, you
Right.
know. And that's unfortunate. But I actually have a lot of hope for the behemoth getting back and for all these people being like, okay, there's like an alien threat now because we still have that issue. You know, we're still, you know, all of the last book was about like how do we get our hands on this weapon first, even though we know there's this threat, but there's a threat
Mm-hmm.
here too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so
And this balance of history's made up of people recovering from the last disaster, the shared trauma can bind us together. There's also, in the same chapter, Shelby, I quoted you, quoting the book actually. That's where I got that from. Humans do bad things when they're afraid. And I think that we're seeing that. What is his name? Carlos, maybe? No, whoever the real haughty pastor is who's calling this thing the devil.
yeah.
You know, like that's your first warning that like we're about to do some bad stuff in the name of religion, you know.
Yeah. So Peggy was saying, like, so once we know more about the gate builders, what do we think about the idea of God or no God, or are the gate builders God?
Right.
I'm definitely still, I don't know. I mean, like, if the proto molecule got here 2 billion years ago, then this whole like crisis concept that we talked about last week of like, what if they are the gods? I don't know. It's still possible we find out there's like another alien race and they're the
There's
gods.
always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish. There's always a bigger fish. But I think like I guess for me at this point, it's sort of like you know, technology
Mm-hmm.
sufficiently advanced is
Mm-hmm.
indistinguishable from magic, and I don't see why that wouldn't apply to, you know,
Right.
gods in this case. And I doubt we ever get an answer, right? Like that's not
No,
something this
yeah.
book is trying to answer. But
And Anna wanted to go here to understand more about God, to
mhm,
understand how this all plays a role in whatever that might be.
yeah,
She has a very open, flexible
yeah,
understanding, but that's not usually really how we see it.
no,
And you have the danger, and you know, the reason people often don't want to learn about the universe
yeah,
is because God becomes God of the gaps.
hmm,
There's less room for God.
right,
He gets smaller, and the gap that he can fill, it can
right,
fill, the entity can fill is smaller and
yeah.
smaller as we understand more about the universe.
Well, and I would argue that if you can understand it, it probably isn't a god, right?
Right.
Like it needs, it's supposed to be,
Unintelligible. Yeah.
yes, a mystery,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the point. Um,
Yeah. And the fear of mysteries, though.
yeah,
The
and yes, the more we understand, the less mystery there is. But there's always more mystery, right?
right.
Or so far. So
But I like that this book is very different, that it is exploring more the religious component of this. How do all the different types of people handle this situation?
Right.
That Holden is.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing it through Holden's eyes. Like, we're getting there because Holden is there. Like,
Right.
there's still tons of action in this book. I mean, like, there's a fight scene every 5 chapters at least.
Mm-hmm.
And these books are just really interesting like
Mm-hmm.
that. They just have everything.
Yeah. I do think it's kind of interesting that Bull, who's like maybe an atheist, he just kind of like chuckles when Anna asks him about religion.
Mm-hmm.
But like he's the one pulling people together, and like still a lot of the the religious folks aren't like doing a whole lot to make the situation better.
They're just yapping.
And they just may lack the skills, right? Anna is.
There's no good reason for them to all be out there.
No.
Like, it's so stupid.
I get it. But Anna is, I think, trying to help, right? She's setting up her little church service, and she is like helping people with their anxieties and things like that. And that's what, like, if religion is going to be a unifying force, if it doesn't serve like a literal purpose to make our lives better, then like, what's the point, right? Like if it's just that we all explore this mystery and everything's worse, I don't need that, And so I think it's interesting that like Bull is the one who's like doing the good work, but then Anna is joining him, and I'm sure some of the other people will. But I think it's kind of a knock against them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do agree. I'm ready to take a break from The Expanse.
Yeah.
Read something different and then come back to it. I do want to continue.
Oh yeah, for
now
sure.
At this point, I just feel like we're just in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got to get our way through.
Yeah.
So Peggy about Melba in the Fable said, and I quote, "This heifer seriously nuts about Melba.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really, really want at the end of this book for her to see her father and him tell her she's still a disappointment and not as good as Julie."
What about the mutiny, right? Like I kind of mentioned that at the beginning, but I kind of enjoyed that part where they had to realize that, like, look, this guy that was chosen for this mission basically as a figurehead is no longer the right call. And we've had a couple of the books like that.
Right. Well, the mission has changed.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that the leadership needs to as well.
Yes. But like that's tough, right?
Yeah.
And he's like crying in his little animal cell or whatever.
Melba, hey, Melba. Bust me out of here and I'll make sure you're free forever.
Crazy.
Melba. I can't with him.
Yeah, I think everybody agrees that Ashford is pathetic. So that's one of those things.
Ew, yeah. So after the catastrophe, after the surprise slowdown and everyone got injured, the people that are running around trying to triage the situation, who gets help, who just gets cleaned up, like whatever. They called them pasta sauce.
Mm-hmm.
That was rough.
Yeah.
But they're so realistic though. Like the things that people do or say to process what is beyond processing in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to see this as pasta sauce than as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just horrible. The chaos of that moment.
The authors did a very good job with that, with that whole scene.
Anna seeing the guy that was just like, I mean, wasn't he like split in half and asking for help, basically?
Maybe. She also sees the guy with like no arm, her old Marine with no arms and legs.
Yeah.
That was, and they had this conversation about like, am I really a hero because I was just in the right place at the right time? Yeah, I thought that was an interesting conversation as well.
Yep, and that's very true, right? Like, a hero is just someone who did a thing, not because he was being brave, but just did a thing.
Yeah.
Without thinking about it, did something stupid probably, but it was at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he says like if I lost my arm and leg in a car accident,
Yeah.
nobody would think anything.
Yeah. But cool that they can just like regrow it, a little skelegrow situation.
Yeah, that part was cool. They said it would be itchy. That description bothered me.
Yeah, like stretch mark itchy. Ooh. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, all the like medicine and space stuff, that like we can't heal properly without gravity.
That part's
That was
interesting.
super interesting and like makes so much sense.
Yeah.
The way that like clots will pool because there's not enough gravity to help them flow through.
Yeah.
Pneumonia becomes a much riskier situation because again, there's not the gravity to help move things along. Like, I'm fascinated by all of that. Like, and and we have like praised the authors throughout the series for like giving us the science, giving us just enough to remind us that like this is sci-fi and this is like looking at future technologies and future capabilities, but not getting so bogged down that there's not a good story to go along with it. And yeah, we all really hate Melba. Who did we hate so much in the last book? The little secretary. Avasalaar's secretary.
Yeah. That guy.
But don't y'all just keep waiting for Bobby to pop up? Every time it mentions a Marine, I'm like, it's Bobby! No.
I feel like we would have known.
Like, they ain't gonna call her up?
Nope. Soaring.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. I guess I don't have all that much more to say. We've kind of hit on all the topics, I think. I'm very interested to see, like, I don't know, now that we've, like, gone through the ring and made contact, right? I don't know what, like, the point of the rest of the book is, except to, like, try to get out of the gate. But I want more aliens. Y'all know me. I always want more aliens. And so, can I get a little bit more? And, like, we may never know anything else about this extinct civilization. But I will say this, they said one of the concerns was that, like, all the other gates are locked except for ours. And what if we unlock them and there's something, like, waiting on the other side? Whatever it was that killed off this past, like, the gate builders. I just want more aliens. Give me more.
Yeah. Well, and so we haven't seen Holden in a little bit, I feel like, but he's been taken prisoner.
Yeah, but they're bringing him to the behemoth. That's about it. But yeah, he told those Martians like the whole story. Everything he saw. I think he kind of feels like a fool because like he definitely had this like chosen one fantasy all the way here, and then now he's like, I think I've been used.
Yeah.
Buddy. And everybody's like, well, if there's anything you can bet on, it's that Jim Holden's going to be a liability. And I agree with that statement.
And he's going to run his mouth.
He's a nice guy. He's a liability. Yeah. He's on his way.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So they're all going to be on the behemoth.
Yep.
Okay, help me. Because I keep confusing all the ships.
Yes.
Is the behemoth the one that like if we get one laser working, the rest of the ship falls apart?
Yes. It's the old Nauvoo.
And we've got to get that thing out of the ring.
Yes. But it's the only one that's like, it's the only one that was moving slow enough. Whenever like the second speed changed or something. So it's basically the only functional thing left. It's also got gravity. And now it also has this microwave laser thing, the communications array that they built up that they're not going to use, but it's the only weapon that is useful because it's a microwave. And so, but yeah, they said, they made a comment in like the last chapter that the amount of time it will take for them to get out of the ring, or for supplies to get from the ring to them, it would be the same amount of time it took to get supplies from like Earth to the ring, which was like 6 months. And so like we need to spend 6 months just like getting up out of this thing, unless we can get it the station to change the speed limit again, which I think is where we're going with this. Somehow we're gonna have to change the speed limit, one way or the other, and that's Melba's job, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, she was a fake engineer who accidentally learned some engineering along the way.
Yeah, she was fine. She got this.
She's just the worst. Just the worst. Melba.
Mm-hmm. All right. So go ahead and finish the book. I'm looking forward to it. And then I think we are all in agreement that we want to read the fourth, but that we will not read it right now. Nicole is picking the next book, so we will get that to you sooner than if I were picking it, I'm sure.
I will post something today.
Cool. All right. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate everybody's participation, no matter how far you are in time or in distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll see you all next week.
Bye. Happy reading.
Bye.
Someone mentioned something about yesterday.